In this video, I'm going to explain how to sort of sketch an equation to identify the x-intercept, the vertex, and the y-intercept given an equation in intercept form. These are, like I said, quadratic equations. So first, you recognize what form it is. So this is, like I said, the intercept form, ax minus p, x minus q. And we are going to identify that the 5 and the 3 could be the p and the q, but you need to make sure that it's an x minus and then x minus as well over here. So x plus 5 is telling you that you actually have x minus negative 5. And then x minus 3, that is just telling you that you had a 3. The reason why we go through this process is to be able to pull out the x-intercepts. That means that if p is negative 5, the x-intercept is negative 5 comma 0, and the other x-intercept is 3 comma 0. So these are your x-intercepts. Okay, so we got that one done. Now, how do we identify the vertex? Well, you can start sketching this and realize where these x-intercepts are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5 right here, and positive 3, 1, 2, 3. And the axis of symmetry is going to be passing exactly through the middle of this point. So you can count that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. Half of that will be 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That means this right here, when x is negative 1, that's where the axis of symmetry is going to be, at negative 1. Now, mathematically speaking, how can we get that negative 1? Well, there is a formula for the axis of symmetry using the intercept form. That will be x equals p plus q divided by 2. So technically the average of your x-intercepts. So if you do negative 5 plus 3 divided by 2, that is going to give you negative 2 divided by 2, and that is negative 1. So what did we just calculate? We calculated the axis of symmetry. And as you recall, the axis of symmetry is related to the vertex in a way that it tells you where the vertex will be according to the x value. So what we're going to do now is picture that we're calculating the vertex, and that point of the vertex, we already know the x value because that's your axis of symmetry, so negative 1, and we don't know the y. So that's the one we need to calculate right now. So we're going to use our formula, our equation that's given at the beginning. So y equals negative 6 parentheses x plus 5, x minus 3. And we are going to plug in this x value that we calculated. So we're going to put negative 1 right there and a negative 1 right there. Okay, so we bring everything else down. And as you notice, now we just have numbers on the right side and then a y on the left side because we're solving for y. So following PEMDAS, we're going to do the parentheses first. So negative 1 plus 5, that's 4. And negative 1 minus 3, that's negative 4. All of these three numbers are multiplying, so it doesn't matter what order you do them. Negative 6 times 4, that's negative 24. And then you still have times negative 4. So negative 24 times negative 4, I don't know that at the top of my head, so let's calculate that. So 24 times 4, that would be 96, okay? Negative times negative positive, so that would be 96, positive 96. All right, so then that's our y value. So negative 1, comma, 96. That is our vertex right there. Okay. So that is where we will have picture way up here whenever this is 96. That's where our vertex is at. And then the last part is identifying the y-intercept, since we already got the vertex. Now the y-intercept will be kind of the same process as the vertex, because the y-intercept is another point that we can use to plug in the formula. The y-intercept has a 0, y. We don't know what the y value is, but we do know the x. The x is a 0. So we're going to write the equation again, -6 parentheses. According to the formula, we have x plus 5, x minus 3. So we're going to write in here where the x's are, a 0. So 0 plus 5, 0 minus 3. Okay, bring everything else down. PEMDAS 0 plus 5, that's 5. 0 minus 3, that's -3. Bring down the -6. And once again, all of these three numbers are multiplying, so it doesn't matter what order you do them. So we have -6 times 5, that's -30, times -3. So -30 times -3, that is a positive 90. So therefore our y-intercept will be 0, 90. All right, so then that makes sense, because if your y-intercept is 90, definitely it can make sense that the vertex is up here at 96. So it's something like that. Again, this is just a sketch. Obviously, this looks more like a B than a U, but it's just a sketch. But this will be the process to identify the x-intercept, the vertex, and the y-intercept given an equation in intercept form. I hope this video helps.